Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica, known as Data Geek. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to take your Excel sheets and insert them into a SQL database using Python. Whether you're working in Jupyter Notebook, VS Code, or Python IDE, this is a powerful way to automate your workflow and get your data ready for real analysis. We're going to load multiple Excel sheets, turn them into SQL tables, and insert the data efficiently using executemany. And yes, I'll show you how to preview everything and how to avoid the most common mistakes too. So grab your cup of coffee and let's get started. All right, so here I am in my Jupyter Notebook. So these are the steps we're going to take to insert Excel sheets into SQL using Pandas plus executemany. So we will import our libraries, we'll load the Excel file with multiple sheets, we'll connect to a SQLite database or create one. Then we're going to loop through each sheet and insert the data, and then we will create a matching SQL table. Then we will prepare data for SQL, insert data using executemany. Next, we will view tables in the database, and then we will preview the data from all tables. And lastly, we will close the connection, which is good practice. So first off, I want to show you the data set we will be using. So here you can see my data set. So here on the bottom, I have 3 tabs. I have sales, inventory, and employees. So I'm going to import this into a SQL database and then view it. So as you can see, sales has date, product, quantity, and price. There's inventory, which is item name, in stock, restock date. Then we have our employees tab, which has employee ID, name, department, and start date. So we want to put this data set into a SQL database using Python. If you have not already inserted your Excel sheet, what you're going to do if you're in Jupyter Notebook, you just simply click this upload button here, select your data set, and open. Once you do that, I already have it installed. It will be here at the bottom called Sample Sales Dataset. I will put this dataset in the link below, and I will also include the database and the Python code so you can follow along if you like. So now that we have our dataset installed into Jupyter Notebook, we have our dataset ready to go. We're going to go ahead and start with step number 1. We are going to start with the libraries. So we will import pandas as PD. And what this does is it reads your Excel file. Next, we're going to import SQLite 3. And what this does is it connects and inserts into a SQL database. And by the way, if you're wondering whether you need to install the SQLite library, the good news is you do not have to. SQLite comes built into Python by default. So as long as you've installed Python, you're good to go. But just to double check, you can always run this code here, import SQLite 3, and see if it runs successfully with no errors. And if not, you're good to go. So now in step number 2, we're going to load the Excel file with multiple sheets. We'll start off with Excel underscore file equals single quotation. Now this is where you put in your Excel file name. So my file name was sample underscore sales underscore data dot xlsx. You will be replacing this with your actual file name. The next is going to be xls equals pd.read underscore excel open parentheses excel underscore file comma space and then sheet underscore name equals none with a capital N-O-N-E. Close that parentheses. I will run this. This line of code here grabs your data set. That's why you specify your data set name here. And then here, this last code, it loads all your sheets in a dictionary. All right, so now we'll go ahead and run this code, and it ran successfully. I'm going to kind of zoom in here. So in step number 3, we want to connect to the SQLite database. So we do CONN, short for connect, equals SQLite 3 dot connect, and open parentheses, single quotation, because we're going to call this Excel underscore 2 underscore SQL dot DB, single quotation, close that parentheses. Now here we're creating a database file called Excel underscore 2 underscore SQL dot DB. Next we're going to create a cursor equals CONN dot cursor, open and close parentheses, and run this code. So now we just connected to a SQLite database. Now that we connected, now we can go ahead and loop through each sheet and insert the data. And that's what we will do in step number 4. So we're going to go for space raw underscore sheet underscore name, comma, then df in xls dot items, open and close parentheses, and a semicolon. Now we're going to do sheet underscore name equals raw underscore sheet underscore name dot stripe, open and close parentheses, and replace. And what we're going to replace is any spaces in the data with an underscore. Close that parentheses. So it loops through each sheet and it cleans the sheet's names. It removes any extra spaces and it replaces spaces with underscores. So I'll go ahead and run this code and add a cell there. Now in step 4a, we're going to create a matching SQL table. And to do that, we go columns equals single quotation, comma, space, single quotation, dot join. Now we're going to do an open parentheses, open bracket, F, single quotation, and then a double quotation. We're going to open up a curly bracket and do COL, close that curly bracket, and then a single quotation again. And then space, and we're going to do text in capital letters, single quotation, space, for COL in df dot columns. Close that bracket and close the parentheses. Next line of code is going to be a create underscore table underscore SQL equals F, single quotation, and we're going to do create table if not exists. Now we're going to open a curly bracket, sheet underscore name, close that curly bracket, and now we're going to open a parentheses, open a curly bracket, and now it's going to be columns. And then you close those. And next you're going to do a cursor dot execute, open parentheses, create underscore table underscore SQL, close parentheses. So what this does is it creates your Excel columns into a SQL table format. Then it creates a SQL table with the same column names, all as text. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And it ran successfully. Now we will go to step 4b. We're going to prepare the data for SQL. And it's going to be data equal df.as type, open parentheses, and str for string dot values dot to list, open and close parentheses. We will run this code. And it ran successfully. So what this does, it converts your Excel data into a list of rows as strings. that can be inserted into SQL. Now in step 4C, we're going to insert data using executemany. I'm going to start off with placeholders equals single quotation, comma, space, single quotation, dot join, open parentheses and open bracket, single quotation, question mark, single quotation, close that bracket, space, and then your star sign, space, len, open parentheses, df dot, columns, close parentheses, and close that other parentheses. Next, we're going to do an insert underscore SQL, space equals F, single quotation, and in capital letters, we're going to do insert into space double quotation, and then we're going to open a curly bracket and put sheet underscore name, close that curly bracket, close the double quotations, space, and then values in capital letters, space, open parentheses, open that curly bracket, placeholders. So it has to be the same spelling as this one here. So I'll just drag and highlight, do a Control C to copy, click here, and a Control V to paste. Now you can type it out, but I like to use my copy paste. Close that curly bracket and close the parentheses, close those. Now I'm going to do cursor, C-U-R-S-O-R dot execute, open parentheses, double quotation, and in capital letters we're going to do P-R-A-G-M-A space, then lowercase busy underscore time out equals 5,000, and close that. Now cursor dot executemany, open parentheses, insert underscore SQL, comma, data, close parentheses. So what this does is it prepares a generic SQL insert command using the question mark as a placeholder. And using this executemany is to install all rows efficiently at once. And then the 5,000 timeout, which adds a 5-second timeout just in case the database is busy. So we're going to go ahead and run this. And it ran successfully. Now step number 5, I'm going to add a cell here. We're going to view the tables in the database. So we're going to do with cursor dot execute, open parentheses and double quotation, and select in uppercase name from SQLite underscore master where, and then type equals single quotation table, single quotation, double quotation, and then close that. Now tables equals cursor dot fetch all. So tables equals cursor dot fetch all. Open and close parentheses. And now we want to print some text out. And the text is going to say tables in database, and then we're going to name the tables in the database. So we're going to go print, open parentheses, double quotation, tables in database, semicolon, double quotation, comma. Now it's going to print this out. It's going to say tables in database, but now we want it to list the table names. So TABLES, close parentheses, and we will run this code. Now again, it printed out tables in database, and then it gave us the list of the table names. So we have sales, inventory, and employees. Now going back to our Excel file, we have sales, inventory, employees. So that is correct. So we now have those in our database. So now that we have that list, we want to preview the data from all tables. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to do for table in tables, semicolon, and then table underscore name equals table, open bracket 0, close bracket. Then we're going to do a df space equals pd dot read underscore SQL underscore query, QUERY, open parentheses. I'm going to do a F single quotation and then select all, which is a star, from, and then double quotation, and we want the tables. So curly bracket, table underscore name, close the curly bracket, double quotation, and a single quotation, comma, space, CONN for connect, close parentheses. And we will go ahead and print, open parentheses, df.head. So we only want to see the head of the data. So we'll go ahead and run this. And now we have all of our data tables. So we have date, product quantity, price, item ID, item name, in stock, restock, and then employee ID, name, department, and start date. So you can see here on the top 0 to 4, that is our sales table. Then the next row from 0 to 4 here in the middle, item ID, item name. This looks like our inventory table. And then here, employee ID, name, department number. This looks like our employees table. And again, sales, inventory, employees. And what this did is it loops through each table and prints the first few rows using pandas. So we just got done viewing the data set. Now in step number 7, go ahead and add a cell. We're going to go ahead for best practice is close the connection. So conn.commit, open and close parentheses, conn.close, open and close parentheses, and run that. So we just closed that. That is it. Now you know how to take an Excel file, even with multiple sheets, and load each one into an SQL database using Python. So this is valuable skill for anyone in data, automation, reporting, or analysis. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you want more tutorials like this one. I've included the full code and sample database in the description below so you can follow along or adapt it to your own projects. And if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to buy me coffee. It gives me fuel to make more videos like these ones. Link is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Your support means a lot to me, and I'll see you on the next video.